The scan that should have been routine, the medical bay was quiet. Too quiet. Dr. Ethan Vale sat alone, checking reports on his tablet. Most nights were the same. Boring scans, minor injuries, nothing serious. But tonight felt strange. Something in the air was off, like the calm before a storm. His comm link buzzed. "Dr. Vale, we need you in Medbay Sector 3. New arrival, alien female, unconscious." "On my way," he replied, standing quickly. Ethan reached the room within minutes. 2 guards stood outside. They nodded but didn't speak. The door slid open with a soft hiss. She was lying on the med table, still and silent. Tall, thin, with pale silver skin and strange markings that glowed faintly on her arms and neck. Her long black hair was tangled, her clothes were torn. Someone or something had hurt her badly. Ethan walked in slowly. "Does she speak?" he asked the nurse beside him. "Hasn't said a word since they brought her in. No ID. No name. Not in the system." He frowned. "Then we scan her." He pressed a few buttons on the panel, and the scanner arm moved over her body. Red light passed over her chest, legs, head. The screen lit up with strange readings. Ethan leaned in. "That can't be right," he muttered. Her vitals were stable, heart rate normal. No broken bones, but something was wrong. Her organs didn't match any known species. And her brain? The scan showed strange pulses of energy, like it was waking up. Her eyes opened. Ethan froze. Those eyes were glowing, bright violet, and focused directly on him. "You're awake," he said softly. "Can you hear me?" She didn't answer. He turned back to the console. "I just need to finish the scan, then I'll call someone who can help." Click. The sound was quiet, but Ethan noticed. The door key locked. He turned around. The alien woman was sitting up now, still staring at him. Calm. Too calm. "You locked the door?" he asked, confused. She stood, her bare feet touching the floor softly. The scanner beeped behind her. "Now it's my turn," she said. Her voice was cold, smooth, controlled. Ethan stepped back. "Your turn for what?" She walked closer, not fast but with purpose. The glowing marks on her arms pulsed slowly like they were alive. "You scanned me," she said, "but I came here to scan you." Ethan's heart pounded. "Look, I don't know what you want, but this is a medical bay. We help people here. You're safe." She tilted her head slightly. "No one is safe, Doctor. Not anymore." Suddenly, the scanner arm moved on its own, turning toward Ethan. "What the—" He tried to step away, but the device locked onto his chest. A blue light passed over his body. "You have something inside you," she said. "I don't know what you're talking about." "You don't need to. Your blood will tell me." The scan finished. The screen behind her lit up with a strange symbol. Not human. Not from any language Ethan had ever seen. "You're one of them," she said quietly. "One of who?" She didn't answer. He tried to override the door lock. No response. "You're a carrier," she said, walking closer. "They'll come for you now." Ethan shook his head. "What are you talking about? Who's coming?" "The ones who marked you. Long before you were born." Ethan stared at her, breathing fast. Nothing made sense. She was a patient. Just another alien needing help. But now it felt like he was the one being studied, like he was the subject of something far bigger than he could imagine. "Who are you?" he asked. Her eyes softened just a little. "My name doesn't matter yet. Only this matters. Your scan triggered something, and we don't have much time." "Time? For what? For me to decide if you live, or if they take you?" Suddenly the lights flickered. The station's emergency sirens began to hum deep below the floor. Ethan looked at her again. The glowing marks on her skin were brighter now. She leaned in close, and for the first time he saw something in her eyes. Fear. "You were never supposed to find out," she whispered. But now that you have, everything is going to change. What lies beneath her skin? Ethan Vale didn't know what was real anymore. The scanner had turned on him. The medbay had locked itself. And the silent, strange alien woman who came in as just another patient now stood between him and the truth, one that terrified him more with every breath. Her words echoed in his head. You're a carrier. They'll come for you now. Ethan backed toward the wall as she stepped closer. Her body glowed softly with lines of light beneath her skin, as if wires or energy veins ran just below the surface. It wasn't natural. It wasn't medical. It was something else. What do you mean I'm a carrier? He asked, trying to stay calm. I've lived on this station my whole life. I've never even left orbit. You don't need to leave, she said. It's already inside you. What is? Her violet eyes locked on his. Something ancient. Something sleeping. She reached for the scanner panel, tapped a few buttons, and suddenly the screen displayed his genetic code. Not hers. Symbols began to appear in the corners. They weren't from any known human alphabet. They looked like alien runes. Pulsing. Waiting. Your blood carries a signal, she said quietly. Not one you can hear. Not one your machines can detect, but mine can. Why me? He whispered. What did I ever do? You were born, she replied almost gently. They marked your line generations ago. You're the last. Ethan shook his head. This is insane. What even are you? She paused, and for a moment something changed in her face, like she was remembering something painful. When she spoke, her voice was lower, sadder. I was built to find you. The words hit like a punch. Built? Ethan repeated. You're artificial? She held up her hand. The glowing mark shifted shape, forming a smooth pattern across her wrist. She tapped it once. Her skin shimmered, just for a second, and revealed metal underneath. Thin, silver-like strands moved with her muscles, disappearing again under her flesh. Part organic, part designed, part broken, she said. Why me? Why not someone stronger? Someone important? You think strength is measured by rank or weapons? She asked. No, it's in the heart and in your blood. Ethan stepped away from the wall. His mind raced. This wasn't just about him. Something deeper was happening, something dangerous. You said they'll come. Who's they? The woman's eyes darkened. The harvesters. The room felt colder. They collect carriers, break them open, study what's inside, then burn everything. Ethan's mouth went dry. Why haven't they come already? Because I stopped them. For now. A sudden bang echoed through the hallway outside the medbay. They both froze. That didn't sound like a door, Ethan whispered. The woman walked to the panel, pressed her palm to it, and closed her eyes. The medbay lights dimmed. A map of the station appeared in glowing, lines showing movement, multiple red dots converging. They're here, she said. Security? Ethan asked. No, not anymore. He looked at her in disbelief. Then we're trapped. She turned toward him, her expression sharp. Not if you trust me. Trust you? I don't even know your name. Names don't matter when the universe wants you dead, she said. The door behind her hissed and opened an inch. They both turned. It wasn't her doing. Footsteps. 3, 4, maybe more. She walked to Ethan and touched his arm. Her hand was warm but buzzing. A pulse moved through his skin. Suddenly, the scanner panel blinked, and the room lit up. He could see her, not just her outside, inside. Her body wasn't just flesh and blood. Her spine was covered in crystal-like chips. Her heart beat with 2 rhythms. Her brain was surrounded by a swirling halo of blue light. She looked at him and nodded. Now you understand, Ethan gasped. What are you? I'm your shield, she whispered. And your test. He barely had time to respond. The door blasted open. Masked figures in black armor stormed in with weapons, not human. Tall, insect-like helmets. Silent. They raised their weapons. The woman stepped in front of Ethan. She held up her hands. Light exploded outward in a pulse. Time slowed. The attackers froze in place. Their weapons stopped mid-fire. She looked back at Ethan. "You have a choice, Doctor. Follow your training, or follow your blood." Ethan stared at the frozen soldiers, then at the woman who just stopped time. He didn't know who he was anymore, but something inside him whispered, "Move." He took her hand. The intruder protocol. The world around Ethan Vale wasn't moving. Figures in black armor were frozen mid-step. Their weapons hung in the air, suspended like puppets on invisible strings. Bullets shimmered like stars, caught in a frozen second of time. He couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. The alien woman, no, his shield, as she'd called herself, stood calmly beside him, her hands glowing faint blue. "You stopped time," Ethan whispered, staring at her. "Not time," she said softly. "Just their part. In it." Her voice was calm, but her eyes were tight with strain. Sweat slid down her temple. "It won't hold long," she said. "We need to move." Ethan's legs didn't obey right away. Every step felt heavy. The frozen attackers, the locked medbay, the strange light in her veins. It was too much. But then she grabbed his wrist. "You said you wanted to know the truth," she said. "This is your only chance." He followed her. She led him down the emergency access hall. Dark, narrow, not made for doctors. Warning lights blinked overhead. Station alarms echoed faintly. "Where are we going?" Ethan asked as they moved. "To the server vault," she said. "Your scan unlocked data even the station doesn't know it has." "What kind of data?" "The kind that explains why you were born." They passed empty corridors and closed off. Labs. The station felt different now, like it was watching them. Listening. "Those soldiers," Ethan said. "They weren't from this station." "No," she replied. "They were inserted. Cloaked bioshells built to look like humans until activated. Now that they've found you, they'll tear the whole place apart." "Why?" Ethan asked, his voice shaking. "What do I have?" She stopped suddenly. "Your ancestors were part of the last human empire that touched the stars," she said. "Before the Great Silence. Before the wars." "That's just myth," Ethan said. "Not anymore," she replied. "Your blood is the key to something they lost. A signal that leads to the awakening. They reached a sealed door. She placed her hand on it. Nothing happened. It needs you," she said, turning to him. Ethan stepped forward. He placed his palm on the reader. Beep. The door slid open. Inside was a narrow chamber filled with cables, screens, and something far older, a pod covered in dust and symbols, unlike anything he'd seen. This was here the whole time? He asked, buried, hidden. Your people forgot what they were guarding. She stepped into the chamber. Her body flickered, like a ghost between two forms, human and something else. What's wrong with you? Ethan asked. I'm not stable. Anymore, she said quietly. I was built for a short mission. Find the carrier, protect the carrier, awaken the archive. And then what? She looked at him. Then I'm supposed to vanish. Ethan's chest tightened. You said you were broken, he said. Was made to follow code, she said. But I changed. Why? Because you weren't what I expected. She looked away, placing her hand on the ancient pod. It hissed open. Inside were 3 small spheres, each floating gently. One pulsed blue when Ethan came near. These are memory cores, she said. Each one holds a piece of the forgotten empire. Yours will activate the first. Ethan reached out. The moment his fingers touched the blue core, his mind exploded with light. He saw visions, cities in the stars, humans walking among alien giants, great battles in the void, a golden planet, falling into darkness, and finally him, standing at the edge of a crumbling world holding a woman with glowing skin. He gasped, stumbling backward. She caught him. You saw it, she said. What? What was that? Ethan breathed. Your future. Your past. Both, she said. The signal inside you is memory and command. Suddenly, boom. The hallway behind them shook. They found us, she whispered. Red lights flared. Gunfire echoed. We can't stay here, Ethan said. We have to, she replied. The protocol's begun. They'll know what you are now. They'll try to erase you. Can't we shut it down? She shook her head. It's not a system. It's you. Another explosion. A wall collapsed. Smoke poured in. Silhouettes stepped through. More soldiers. Faster this time. Stronger, not frozen. We'll hold them here, she said. We. You can't fight them alone. I'm not alone, she said, and took his hand. Energy pulsed between them. The pod lit up. Then something new happened. Ethan's skin shimmered. Light traced his veins, and for the first time he felt it. Not fear, not confusion, power. She looked at him and smiled. Your awakening has begun, she said. You are not just a carrier now. He turned toward the smoke and fire. The attackers came, and this time, Ethan didn't run. Fugitives in the airlock's alarms screamed across the station. Flashing red lights chased shadows down the narrow metal halls. Gas leaked from broken vents. Robotic arms flailed as systems collapsed, trying to seal off breached sectors. Dr. Ethan Vale ran. His chest burned. His legs felt like fire. Behind him, the alien woman kept pace. Silent, focused, her glowing skin flickering under the emergency lights. They had escaped the server vault, but just barely. The soldiers had come fast. Too many. Too strong. Ethan had used his new ability. Only for a second. Enough to blast open a wall to run, but now he didn't know how to use it again. Where are we going? He gasped. Somewhere they won't expect, she said. A place below the core where old things sleep. That doesn't sound safe. It's not. But neither are they. They turned a corner and ducked into an old maintenance shaft. The tunnel was dark, full of dust and rust. Ethan's lab coat was torn, his face streaked with blood and ash. He didn't feel like a doctor anymore. He felt like prey. What's your name? He asked, panting. She looked at him. Soraya, she said finally. Soraya, he repeated. Thank you, Abe, for saving me. Again. You haven't seen saving yet. They moved through the crawl space, dropping into an abandoned hangar bay. Ancient airlocks lined the walls, doors no one used anymore. Some still blinked with fading lights. Soraya checked one, then nodded. This one leads to the waste tunnels. Forgotten routes. They don't track life signs down there. Ethan paused. Wait, waste tunnels? As in sewage? She smirked, slightly. You're a doctor. Don't be squeamish. They entered. The air was thick and damp. Metal creaked under their feet. Giant pipes hissed as steam passed through. Everything smelled like rust and time. What are we looking for? Ethan asked. Answers. And allies. Allies? Down here? Soraya didn't answer. She moved fast, ducking under broken beams, leading him deeper into the dark. Then they heard it. Footsteps, not metal ones. Bare feet. Echoes. Fast. Multiple. Ethan turned, ready to run, but Soraya grabbed his arm and pulled him behind a wall. 3 shapes appeared in the corridor. Small. Hunched. Glowing eyes. Who are they? Ethan whispered. Scraps, Soraya said. Station orphans. Half machine. Half lost. Abandoned during the last purge. They're children. Used to be. The scraps sniffed the air. One turned its head, sniffed louder. Ethan froze. Then, the smallest one pointed. You glow, it whispered. You're marked. Soraya stepped out slowly. We're not your enemies, she said. We need to pass through. The largest scrap stepped forward. Its skin was patchy metal, patchy flesh. Its voice was rough. He carries the signal, it growled. He wakes the vault. Yes, she said, and he needs to stay alive. A long silence. Then to Ethan's surprise, the scrap knelt. Then, he belongs to the old code, it said. We won't stop you. Ethan stared. What just happened? They recognized the core in you, Soraya said. They were once protectors too, before the station rejected them. They serve me now? No, she said. They respect you. They continued down the tunnel. Behind them, the scraps vanished into the dark. Ahead, the air grew colder. They reached a chamber at the bottom of the station. The walls were covered in strange carvings. The lights didn't work here, just a soft, blue glow from crystals embedded in the floor. In the center was a pillar humming quietly. Ethan walked toward it. This is it, Soraya said. What is it? He asked. A memory beacon. Your kind left it behind when they fled the war. Why didn't anyone ever find it? Because it wasn't meant to be found by anyone. Only you. Ethan placed his hand on the pillar. The ground shook. Blue lines shot out across the walls. Images flickered. Cities, faces, ships flying through burning skies. A voice echoed from the beacon. Deep. Ancient, carrier confirmed. Initiate bond stream. Soraya stepped back. This is where you choose, she said. Once the bond stream begins, there's no turning back. What happens to me? You stop being human and become something else. Ethan's heart pounded. And you? I was made to protect the stream, but once it starts, my purpose ends. He looked at her. Really looked. Her eyes were sad. Her light was fading. Then we do it together, he said. You're not done. Not unless I say so. He gripped the pillar tighter. Light exploded around them. Images flashed. Battles, betrayals. Love, death. 1,000 years in seconds. When the light faded, Ethan dropped to one knee. Soraya caught him. You're stronger than I thought, she whispered. I'm not alone, he replied. Then came the sound of grinding metal. The soldiers had found the tunnel. We need to run, Soraya said. No, Ethan replied. He stood. Energy pulsed in his hands. We fight. Her true form, the air inside the memory chamber, still crackled with leftover energy. Ethan Vale stood tall, though his body trembled. The bond stream had changed something in him. He could feel it in his bones, in his breath, in his blood. His heartbeat echoed like thunder inside his chest. Soraya watched him silently. Her glowing marks pulsed slower now, but brighter. She looked proud and afraid. You survived, she said softly. Ethan wiped sweat from his forehead. What did I just see? What did I just become? You saw what your blood remembers, she said, and now it remembers you too. He turned to her. You're still holding something back. Soraya looked down. Her hands clenched into fists. You've seen what's inside me, Ethan said. But what's inside you? Before she could speak, the wall behind them exploded. A shockwave blasted through the chamber. Dust and shards flew. Ethan fell, shielding his eyes. When the smoke cleared, 6 armored figures stood in the wreckage. Taller than any human. Black, sleek armor. Glowing red slits for eyes. They were not from the station. Soraya stood between them and Ethan, her eyes narrowing. You don't want to do this, she said. The lead soldier stepped forward. Unit 7A. Retrieval order confirmed. Carrier is awake. Asset must be extracted. Soraya didn't move. Step aside, the soldier warned. She looked back at Ethan once, then whispered, Look away. Before he could ask why, her body changed. Her skin turned transparent like glass, revealing layers beneath. Silver muscle fibers, pulsing circuits, flowing light. Her spine unfolded, expanding into an intricate crown of energy. Her fingers grew longer, sharp like blades of light. Her feet lifted off the ground. She floated, glowing, alien, powerful. Ethan's mouth dropped open. Soraya, he breathed. You were hiding this? I was built for war, she said. But war broke me. She raised one hand, and the air cracked like ice. The soldiers attacked at once, firing plasma rounds. Soraya spun through the air, deflecting the shots with an invisible shield. Her hands moved like fire, sending waves of energy that slammed into the attackers, throwing them back. Ethan crawled to cover, watching in shock. She wasn't just fighting. She was dancing with destruction. One by one, the soldiers fell. But not. Before the leader reached for Ethan, Soraya screamed. A sound not human, not machine. She flew like a comet, crashing into the soldier and dragging him through the wall into the shadows beyond. The chamber shook. Silence. Then she emerged, limping, damaged. Her light flickered. They're not done, she said. They'll keep sending more. Ethan ran to her. You're hurt. I can heal, she said. But it takes time. He looked at her in awe. What are you really? She looked away. A weapon, made by the last queens of my kind, forged in a star forge, sent across the void to find the carrier, to find you. You never told me, he said. Because I thought once I found you my job would end, she whispered. But now I know. It's only beginning. Why? Ethan asked. What changed? She met his eyes. You. The bond stream didn't just wake you. It changed me too. I'm not just code anymore. I feel something. Ethan stepped closer. Fear? He asked. Hope. They didn't have time to say more. The chamber lights blinked, then dimmed. A new alarm rang across the station, deep and loud. Priority lockdown. All sectors. Bio-threat detected. Ethan looked at the walls. They think we're the threat. No, Soraya said. They know. Outside, defense turrets turned, walls sealed, drones activated. The entire station had become a trap. We need to reach the landing bay, Soraya said. There's one place we might still escape from. They'll expect us to run, Ethan said. They'll expect you to run, she replied, but we'll make them chase something else. She limped toward the control panel and tapped it. Holograms appeared, her form duplicated, running, down false corridors. Decoys, she said. We only have minutes. They left the memory chamber and entered the core tunnels again. But this time, something followed them. A soft whisper. Mechanical breathing. Ethan turned. One of the fallen soldiers was getting back up, except now it was no longer a soldier. Its armor cracked open. Long black tendrils poured out. Its eyes glowed white now, not red. That's not one of them, Soraya whispered. Then what is it? A corruption. Something ancient that lived in the blood vaults. They sent it in case I failed. It hissed and charged. They ran again, but the corridors were tighter now. Fewer exits. The air felt poisoned. We won't outrun that thing, Ethan gasped. We don't have to. She turned around, ready to fight, but Ethan grabbed her shoulder. You said I have power too, he said. Yes, she whispered. Then help me use it. She looked into his eyes, then placed her hand over his heart. Trust the memory, she said. Don't think. Feel. The tendrils struck, but Ethan lifted his hand. A wave of light burst from his body. Not energy, not fire, memory. The creature froze mid-strike, trapped in a vision of its own ancient death. It let out a cry and collapsed. Ethan gasped and fell to his knees. Soraya caught him. You're learning, she said. It hurts, he said. It'll hurt more before it ends. They stood in silence for a moment. Then she looked toward the launch bay. We need to get off this station, she said. And go where? To the place where your kind first fell, she said. And if we go there, then maybe we find the truth that ends this war forever. The DNA vault, the station was dying. Metal groaned like an old beast under strain. Lights flickered, as if the walls themselves were breathing. The temperature shifted wildly, hot, then cold. Systems failed across sectors. And in the heart of it all, two fugitives moved through smoke and steel, hunted by machines and memories. Ethan Vale had stopped asking what was real. Everything he knew had already broken. The moment he stepped out of the bond stream, the universe changed. No longer a doctor, no longer just human. Now something ancient flowed in his veins. And someone not even born of this world walked beside him. Soraya, the shield who had become more than code, more than mission. This way, she said, voice sharp. The vault is under the cryosector. Only one path in, no way out. Ethan's boot slammed against the metal floor as they ran. Explosions echoed behind them, drones chasing, station's defenses gone mad. But he didn't feel fear now. He felt purpose. What exactly is the DNA vault? He asked, dodging a collapsing pipe. It's where the last human leaders stored their bloodlines, Soraya said. Not clones, not copies. Heirs, frozen, hidden, waiting. Waiting for what? For the signal. For you. They reached a locked gate covered in ice. Soraya stepped forward, placed her palm on the panel. Nothing happened. It needs a direct match, she said, looking at him. Ethan nodded and placed his hand beside hers. The gate trembled. A soft voice spoke from the wall. Female, warm, yet ancient. Ethan Vale. Confirmed. Welcome to Genesis Chamber 3. The ice cracked, the door opened, and inside was silence. Giant tanks lined the room, stretching into darkness, hundreds of them, tall, round, filled with glowing blue liquid. Floating inside were human figures, unmoving, eyes closed, sleeping for centuries. Ethan stepped inside slowly, eyes wide. These are humans, he whispered. Yes, Soraya said. The last true blood of the old empire. They were too important to die, too dangerous to live. And now? Now you choose which ones wake. Ethan looked at her. Me? Why? Because you're the signal. Your body triggers the vault. Your mind commands it. Ethan stared at the floating people. Men, women, even children. All perfect, all untouched by time. I don't know what to do, he admitted. Then I'll help you, she said, stepping close. But we don't have long. The corruption followed us. As if answering her words, the lights above them burst. Click, click, click. From the vent above, black tendrils poured in. The same creature from before, now grown larger, stronger. Its face was covered in shifting metal masks. No eyes. Just hunger. Go to the center platform, Soraya said. I'll hold it off. You can't fight it alone. She looked at him, her voice calm. I was never meant to live past this moment. But you, your line carries hope. Ethan didn't move. I'm not leaving you again, he said. Her eyes flickered with emotion. Then we do it together. They ran to the central platform. A tall crystal spire stood in the middle, glowing softly, etched with the symbol from Ethan's visions, a broken circle with wings. Place your hand, she said. He did. Boom. The creature slammed into the platform. Soraya leapt forward, slicing into it with blades of pure energy. It screamed, reeling, back but only for seconds. Tendrils lashed out, grabbing her, crushing her body. Ethan, do it now, she cried. Ethan focused. He let the memory flow. The crystal glowed brighter. Beams of light shot across the vault, linking to the pods. One by one, the frozen bodies stirred. Fingers twitched. Lungs gasped. Awakening in progress. The creature shrieked and dove toward Ethan, but this time he didn't flinch. His hands rose, and with them, the chamber obeyed. Energy burst from the crystal and struck the monster, not to kill it, but to erase it. Its body flickered, flesh turning to mist, code turning to static. Your time is over, Ethan whispered. The creature vanished in a scream. Soraya collapsed. Ethan ran to her, catching her before she fell off the edge of the platform. Soraya, stay with me. Her skin flickered, fading between light and shadow. Your mission's not over, he said. We did it, they're waking. She looked up at him. Her voice was faint. No, You did it. You're the last beacon. I need you, Ethan said. Her lips trembled. Then take what's left of me. A glowing chip slid from her chest. Warm, alive, her core. Link it to your heart, she whispered. Soraya, don't. Her smile was soft. This is how I live on. Ethan pressed the chip to his chest. Light entered him, and with it her voice, her memories, her presence. His heart pulsed with hers. Around them, the pods opened. The heirs of humanity gasped their first breaths in centuries, and Ethan Vale stood among them, not as a doctor but as something new, something forgotten, something reborn. My turn. Human light flooded the DNA vault. One by one, the stasis pods opened. Steam hissed into the air as human figures slowly stepped out, blinking at the world they hadn't seen in centuries. They were perfect. Tall, sharp-eyed, silent. The last blood of a lost empire, the last spark of old humanity, and standing among them was Ethan Vale. His body no longer shook. His fear was gone. His heart now beat with another rhythm, hers. Soraya's core pulsed inside him, wrapped around his heart like a second soul. Her thoughts, her memories, her strength, all flowed through him now. She was gone, but not lost. He's the signal. One of the awakened humans whispered. He's the true heir. He carries her light, another said. The guardian flame. Ethan looked at them. I'm not here to rule, he said. I'm here to end what started. Above them, the station rumbled. A voice echoed across the intercom, dark, emotionless. Carrier detected. DNA vault breach confirmed. Station core will self-purge in 4 minutes. Ethan's jaw tightened. They're going to destroy the station, he said. Bury us before we can escape. A nearby heir stepped forward. We have a ship. 1 pod survived the cryodrift. It can carry 10. Ethan looked around. Hundreds had awakened. That's not enough, he said. I won't leave anyone. Behind, a soft voice stirred in his mind. Soraya. Then let's give them more time. Suddenly his hands glowed. The light that once belonged to Soraya now pulsed through him. He stepped toward the platform again, lifted both arms, and the DNA vault obeyed. Pipes opened. Ancient tech hummed to life. Backup systems surged. Escape pods began to lower from hidden walls. Dozens. Go, he shouted. Help the others board. The heirs moved fast, organized like soldiers. They didn't question him. They followed. But just as the last group boarded a pod, something crashed through the ceiling. A massive figure, twisted metal armor. A face made of masks, white flames leaking from its body. The last corruption, bigger than before. Full of rage, full of rot. Ethan turned. This ends here. He stepped forward. The corruption roared and charged. They met in the center of the vault. Light against shadow, old code against new memory. The room exploded in a storm of blue fire and white death. Soraya's voice guided him. Don't fight. Like a warrior. Remember, like a keeper. He closed his eyes. Reached deep and remembered. He remembered every cry of a forgotten child. Every broken promise. Every time humanity was betrayed. Used. Scattered across stars. And he remembered her. The woman who sealed the room and whispered, Now it's my turn. His hand glowed with pure memory. He pressed it against the corruption's core. My turn, human. Soraya whispered in his mind. Then the corruption screamed and shattered into dust. Ethan fell to his knees. Silence. Then footsteps. The last heir approached and knelt beside him. You saved us, he said. Not just me, Ethan replied. We saved each other. The vault shook again. We need to go, the heir said. Ethan stood slowly, watching as the last pods launched into space. He reached the final pod. Before stepping inside, he turned. The DNA vault, her resting place, was burning. Thank you, he whispered. Inside the pod, he sat with the survivors. The hatch closed. The ship launched. Behind them, the station exploded into light, and as the stars welcomed them, Ethan heard one last whisper inside his heart. You were never just a doctor. You were always the beginning. He smiled. And now it's your turn, he whispered back.